It's on air. We can see it go on air there. Basically, anytime you see a red button, it means that it's active. Which I find is a bit confusing compared to everything else on the camera system. Like on the camera, red is generally bad, whereas here it means it's on or good.
Well, there's a recording button on the camera where it's red.
That's red too. Yeah, I think this color too comes from, there's like a history there with broadcast. I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So yeah, we're live again now, and our camera is on. Our microphone feed from our camera is on, and that's all we've got active at the moment. Now, because we're using this cut bus style of transitioning now, as soon as I hit the number 2, we will swap to the laptop display. Okay, so there's no safety net there. If you press a button by accident, you'll swap to that other thing. All right. Got to be very careful.
And the 1 and the 2 is down there, yes.
They're the big ones, you can't avoid them.
On the bottom line.
So let's talk through what some of these other buttons are, okay? Let's try picture in picture.
Can we have a split screen?
There we go. That's the picture in picture. Oh. There for a second. Try that again. This is the tricky part to manage because of the lag of making changes, and then I'm not sure which button I've pressed has made the change. It's a little bit easier to see that with a multi-view because you've got that thing straight in front of you, rather than trying to watch what's actually being spat out on the other end. Okay, so do this. We should get picture in picture.
How do you get people? Where was that option?
They're up here. It's not working 100% how I want it to though. And yeah, good luck. Stream status is good now, so that's a good thing. This is telling us that we're streaming at too low a quality, but it's also assuming we've got good connection speeds, which we don't here. So that's something that I would ignore. That would be the important one. Let's walk through all the buttons. I'll get to the picture in picture one eventually. So we understand all these are microphones, right? Up and down, pretty straightforward. Higher or lower volume. On and off, pretty straightforward. Higher or lower volume. Either on or you can't hear it. AFV, audio follows video, okay? So that means that basically, say, we've got the two of them selected. As I swap between the computer and the camera, the audio will change as well, all right? So when I swap to camera 1, it would go to the camera's audio. You probably wouldn't want to do that unless you were playing videos in the middle of your presentations, because generally I'm imagining you'll have one person speaking or two people speaking into the microphone at the same time, and regardless of whether you're showing slides or not, you would still want to hear that person from the microphone, right? So to turn those off should just be a matter of hitting reset. We're not getting any audio.
Okay, and what about the audio from the camera?
At the moment, we've got the audio from the camera coming through. Okay.
And if we wanted to turn that off, which button was it?
Yeah, by pressing on.
And how do we know that second button along the second bottom row is the camera?
You've got to remember what you've plugged everything into. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you got the multi-view, so this here. It'll tell you camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4.
So if you look at the back, can you show me the back of the
Yep.
So does it say?
So you got 1, 2, 3, 4,
okay.
mic 2, mic 1.
Right, that's all right then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll know what you've plugged everything into,
Yeah.
but at this stage here, when you're using it, you've just got to sort of remember.
All right.
Okay. but that'll help you too. Alright, so next button's along, still and black. The still button would show this thing down here, okay? And we can load these things into our media in the software. So you can basically, you can have up to 20 different stills loaded into here that you can feed through to your stream as well.
Oh.
We might do, once we've sort of gone through this, I might do up a really quick little graphic or something for us in Photoshop so we can sort of see that in action. So pressing that button would cause this
button is that one?
still.
Still.
Yep. Would cause, and sorry Michael, it's a bit hard for you to see. Would cause this to go to there,
Oh, yes.
to be spat out into the stream.
Okay. Yeah, so like the logo button.
Yeah, so, you know, at the very least, a start and an end slide, and then probably some sort of graphic that had the speaker's name or the association's logo.
Yeah.
Black, pretty self-explanatory. You press that, and the feed will fade to black. Okay, so this can be a nice way to end things as well if you don't necessarily have an end slide, just so it's not just an awkward complete cut-off from the camera. We can fade away, and you could even come in that way as well. So you start with black and then switch over to one of the other cameras, which is going to happen twice now because I pressed it twice. Moving along, I'm going to come back to this picture-in-picture because I'm not sure if I was using that 100% probably before. Duration is the time it takes for a transition to happen.
Alright, so I'm just nodding off here. So where's the duration button?
Just here, half a second, 1 second, 1.5 or 2 seconds.
Oh, so there's 4 of them.
There are 4 of them.
Right.
1 probably, yeah, is fine. Yeah, probably 1.
And what can you see it again?
Just up here. Alright, something's happened because our stream has lost connection. I think I just pulled the Ethernet cable out by moving that. Curious to see. Let's see if it just picks straight back up now that I've plugged it back in, because that'll be nice to know.
So this is how long? What the duration of the transition?
Yeah. So when we swap from, say, the computer screen to the camera, how long it takes to swap over.
How long it takes to swap over?
I believe it only matters though when you're using the program preview way of working. If you're using cut bus, it will just snap from one to the other. Okay.
Right.
So if you want all those nice fancy transitions, really smooth sort of swaps back and forth, you need to use the program preview. Just going to have a look now when it fades out to black and see what happens. So that's another thing. I don't know if either of you picked up on this. We can see all the camera display screens there. We need to fix that up as well, because obviously you don't want people to be able to see the focus point and the aperture and ISO and that sort of
So
thing
how
too.
do you?
We will need to go into the menu here and change the output to a clean HDMI feed. So
Oh,
it
okay.
basically just takes a video readout.
Yep.
Sometimes like this sort of readout's really useful for me, for example, if someone who wants to teach photography, because I want people to be able to see what I'm seeing, but it's not useful for a stream.
Definitely not.
Okay, so duration. Next to that is your kind of transition. Okay, and to show you them, I'm just going to end this again.